Thanks for coming back and checking us out again. Last week we did share a video about how this water tower worked right there. If you didn't watch that video, this one's going to make a little more sense if you watch that one first. Go ahead and check that out right up here, then come back and check this one out. I'm using this pond water for irrigation on my raised beds and in my yard. So the water from the pond I pump to water everything in my yard, and then I have to fill the pond back up. Additionally, I do have some small leaks. Even when I'm not running my irrigation, I still notice a loss in water. It's not nearly as bad as when I'm running the irrigation, but I still do notice some. So what I wanted to do was figure out how much water am I losing and do some math and then set up an auto waterer for this system. And I didn't want to use a float system. I could have used a float system in some way, but I didn't want to do that. I really wanted to do something a little different. So what I did was, while using irrigation, the water dropped over 6 hours, and then I did some math to figure out how much time would it take to replenish that loss that I lost in 6 hours. So this unit here is just a fantastic auto water system. If you are interested in this, there's a link in the description below. So let's go ahead and get into building this thing. And I had all of the 1-inch PVC that I needed, but not only that, I literally didn't have to cut one piece of PVC to do this job. Everything was the right length already. The only thing that I had to buy for this setup was 2 fittings, one 90 elbow and then one coupler. Additionally, I had to buy 1 ball valve for the drain system. If you were to do a system like this, it's going to be very custom to your situation, so this is how I did it with my setup, and you should be able to get ideas from it. The very first thing we need to do is dry fit everything. So setting it all up, making sure everything's supported. I used nails and then bent them over to hold the 1-inch PVC, but everything's tucked up underneath of this gate here. So I dry fit everything to make sure everything is in place, and then I'm going to go ahead and start gluing it on. This side here is where my spigot is. It sits right up in this corner off of the deck. I'm going to split that and put the timer on that unit there, and then run a hose from there to the end of this piping. This fitting here is for a 3/4 inch hose to a 1-inch PVC. Really vital to making this project work. Over here I have a used hose that I'm going to thread onto the fitting that I put on the end. I need about 3 feet of this hose, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off at 3 feet. And now I can attach this hose to the end of the pipe. The other end of the hose is going to feed into the barrel of the water tower. Again, if you didn't watch the previous video about the water tower and how it works, make sure you check that out at the top of the screen. On the spigot end, I am going to attach a splitter so that I can still use my water hose on the deck to manually water hanging baskets and such that I have up here. The one downside about this timer was that it did require to use this quick disconnect, and it did not come with the female side of the quick disconnect. So luckily I had a quick disconnect already that would fit it, so I didn't have to go buy anything. But if you don't have a quick disconnect, you will need a female quick disconnect to fit to this. I tried putting a regular hose straight to this, and I had leaking problems like crazy. For some reason I just couldn't get a regular hose thread to fit on there. But this guy works pretty well, and I don't mind the quick disconnects at all. Here I am using another hose that is not complete, so I have to put a fitting on. Alright, so why a drain? In the winter time, pipes will freeze. So I won't be running this system in the winter time. And before it starts freezing, I can open this valve and drain the pipes out so that they don't freeze, expand, and break. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you picked something up from this. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we got lots of great videos that we are always showcasing. Mostly how-to videos like this one. But show us some love. See you later. Thanks.